Okay, we're going to do another coding kata. This one's a little harder than the reverse string one, and it's called the TwoSum problem. And this TwoSum problem, you can see it on the LeetCode platform, and the LeetCode platform has a whole bunch of little problems you can practice on, and they're often used for doing interviews. In this particular case, what happens is if you have an array containing a bunch of integers, and you have some sort of target number, like let's say the number 5, and you're going to look for two numbers within inside that array. When they add them together, they'll give you the number 5, and you want the algorithm to return the indexes of those two numbers. Okay, there's some certain other rules about the problem, but I won't get into it. We'll just start coding up a solution for it. And the idea here is we're going to show us using the nano-cycle, and we're going to be really formal again. Again, you might be able to just solve this problem by thinking about it in your head. But the idea is to practice solving this problem, so you practice using your IDE, and you practice using sort of formal small steps that you could apply to a much more complicated problem. So let's start. We start from the starting position with an empty test, okay? So we have our Java Hamcrest template that we made in one of our earlier sessions. So we're going to call the test the TwoSum test, and we'll expand it a little bit just to see what it looks like. It should fail. We always want to run the failing test, and here's the reason why you run it. So you want to make sure that it fails, and you want to make sure you're running the right test. So in this place, there it is. That's our new test. And it fails. Okay. Let's give ourselves, I'm working a small screen here, so let's give ourselves some more room. So that's the fail. So the first thing is to write the simplest case, where our microcycle is we write some code that doesn't compile. Okay? We don't write any production code yet. You don't go and write the reverse function and then come back here and do it. You write the need for the reverse function here. It takes a string and it's going to return a null value, okay? So it's red. So we haven't read the production code, so we have to make it non-red, this problem here. So we use our IDE and have it help us. So it's going to return, oh, actually it's not reverse, sorry. I was doing the reverse problem here. Actually, what it's called is the TwoSum. I just did the reverse problem in another video. So this is our TwoSum problem, and it's going to take the target number. So in this case, let's call it 2, and then it's going to take some data, 1 and 0, and it's not going to find any solution for this one. This is the simplest one we can think of. Okay, so we create the method TwoSum. It's going to return an int array that contains the two indexes. It's going to be the first thing is going to be the target number, and the next thing is going to be actually an array of numbers. So let's just go with this data. So this is in Java, this is the syntax. This will be turned into array. This makes it a little more convenient syntactically to do this. And he's going to return, let's have him return something that's wrong. Okay, well, let's make this test pass, okay, because it's so simple. Here it is. He's going to return null. Okay? Because there's no solution for this. Good. So passes. It's called always fails. So let's change that name to test TwoSum. Okay, super. So we want another test. The next one we can think of is we give 1, 1, and this one should give us a solution now, shouldn't it? And instead of expecting the null value, we're going to want int, okay, an array containing the indexes 0 and 1, because that's where it found the numbers for the solution. Okay, so run it. It should fail, shouldn't it? It does, and it's okay. It was null, so no surprise. So what we're going to do is if data 0 I mean, we could do some checks here to make sure there are things, but we'll put that in as another test later on. Equals equals target. If this is true, then we're going to return the position of those guys. So in that case, the position is going to be 0, 1. Let's make sure that works, or see if it works. Okay, let's see. Okay, now our next step is to look at this thing and see if there's anything ugly about this that we want to clean up. So let's first check the warnings. This guy's not being, it's always equal to 2, so no problem. We'll add some more test cases and that'll get solved, so we won't worry about that. This little, I don't know about you guys, but this little construct, it looks ugly to me. Okay, it's a Java-ism, and so I don't like it. I'm going to make it so it's more descriptive. So I'm going to extract a method, and I'm going to call it the TwoSum solution. Okay? I'm going to replace where it cares everywhere, so it's TwoSum solution. But this isn't good either, right? Because we want to be able to add some variables into it. So we're going to change the signature of it. We'll add a variable called int. We'll make it I. And for now, everywhere it's called is 0. And we're going to add another variable j, and everywhere it's called is 1. Okay, now we see that these guys aren't being used. We need to put in I and j here. We run our TwoSum. Is it passing? It should still pass because we did a refactor. Okay, so now the next one is make it a little longer. So we're going to just focus on having the solution in the first location all the time, okay? So in this particular case, it's going to be, make that slot empty. We'll make that slot into 2. We'll make this one 3. And then the position should be 2. So let's run this and see if it fails. It does fail, okay? So this is a little bit like a reverse string thing. We're going to be just dumb about the solution and then refactor it. So the first thing is, if data length is equal to 2, then we're going to use this. No, so if the data length is greater than or equal to 2, then we try this, okay? And then if we do if the data length is greater than or equal to 3, oh yeah, but let's not copy it yet, because copying things is a little evil here. This guy here, let's extract him because we're about to copy it. So we're gonna take this guy and we're going to replace all occurrences where it says 1. We're going to call it j. Okay? And we're going to move this outside. And then we're going to copy this thing exactly like this. So we got 0j, and we're going to make j equal to 2 in this case. And if it's equal to 3, like this is greater than or equal to 3, then we're okay here. Let's see if this solves this. It solves it. Okay, so this is obviously ugly though, right? So we're going to use a for loop. We're going to go for for j, for I. Call it j instead, and it'll go from, we see that it starts at 1, and as long as it's less than the data.length, then we're good. So if we copy this in here, it should be 1. Now we got rid of some of our ugliness. if we did that right. Let's see if this is a solution. So that's the first part of our solution, right? This is good. Okay, and we'll go on to the next part of the solution now. Okay, this is actually a one-sum thing. The first position. So now we're going to solve in the next solution. We'll do that in the next part.